Easily one of the most exciting aspects about the future of Star Wars is the fact that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are borrowing many different aspects from Star Wars Legends, as well as some of the unused material by George Lucas that he did not approve for Legends back in the 1990s and the early 2000s. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and check me out on there. I do post a couple of fun and entertaining things on there from time to time. Now, as of right now, we're in a very interesting position. We do know that Jon and Dave have a lot to work and play with when it comes to Star Wars. They actually have gotten major promotions over at Lucasfilm a couple of months ago that gave them more creative freedom and control, power over many of the new projects, the new Star Wars lore, like books, novels, and comics, and video games, and how that's all going to really connect to this new universe as a whole. Now, obviously, George Lucas, Jon Favreau, and Dave Filoni, they are, in fact, working as a team to really bring Star Wars in a different direction. Their main goal right now is to recapture many of the lost fans. We're talking about the fans that left at the very end of the sequel trilogy, left at the very end of The Last Jedi specifically, and especially some of the fans that were very upset with the Gina Carano firing from Mandalorian Season 3. So with that being said, of course, we do know that Jon Favreau is a hardworking man. He is very passionate. He knows what the Star Wars fans want to see on, of course, Disney Plus, and he knows what the fans want to actually see when it comes to the vision of George Lucas. Obviously, Jon Favreau knows his best, with Star Wars. He knows the Legends content in greater depth than anybody on set. Obviously, we do know that Dave Filoni is a true protege of George Lucas, so he's also another great one that's working alongside with Favreau. Now, with that being said, of course, what's really intriguing has everything to do with what Favreau recently did, alright, for the future of Star Wars and where it's all going. Now, given that both Disney and Lucasfilm are working on various projects at the same exact time for the Star Wars universe with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, Disney CEO Bob Chapek is currently putting together a major reveal for the fans that is set to actually tell them, of course, exactly what's going to be done for them by surprise by the time Star Wars Celebration hits. Now, further, it's described that Jon Favreau is currently creating a big side story for The Mandalorian Season 4 that is in the early stages, that is set to fully focus on Luke Skywalker and his Jedi training temple, that will truly tap into Star Wars Legends, taking inspiration from the books and video games, plus more. Now, on top of this, currently Jon Favreau is set to focus on one of Luke Skywalker's Jedi students that will be a focus for The Mandalorian Season 4. And that student is actually set to be Kyle Katarn, that is being put together by Favreau and Filoni. Currently, Favreau is said to actually have been in the talks with Walking Dead star Andrew Lincoln to portray Kyle Katarn as Luke Skywalker's great student in the Mandoverse, along with a big story that will focus on Luke Skywalker sending Kyle Katarn to find Din Djarin and his friends for a brand new quest and adventure that will actually center for a handful of episodes for the series. Now, not just that, however, but Favreau is also aiming to create Mara Jade as Luke Skywalker's love interest in Season 4, with her aim to be a villain by the second half of Season 3. This major plan for both Luke, Kyle, and Mara Jade to interact with each other and go on different adventures and quests is set to set up a brand new Star Wars TV show, of course TV shows that will be announced some years from now. Currently, Favreau plans to end Mandalorian at Season 4, however wants to continue the story of Din Djarin and Grogu in many unique ways for the fans. Favreau is set to actually give Luke Skywalker a Jedi temple on Yavin 4, where fans will get a detailed first look at Luke Skywalker's Jedi students for the series. Now, Favreau is also set to introduce a young Ben Solo in the 4th season of The Mandalorian, and that Favreau wants to dive into Ben Solo's childhood. Now, the plan by Disney is to make Mandalorian Season 4 roughly 13 to 14 episodes long that will allow them to dive into tons of stories not just for Luke, but also Din Djarin and Grogu. The evolution of Grogu will also be a main focus for Season 4, and that this character will grow with more powers that will be explored by Favreau. Now, with Kyle Katarn said to become a big character in the Mandoverse, Favreau is trying his best to make sure that Mara Jade will have a very in-depth story, that will tie somehow into the life of Luke Skywalker and other Star Wars projects that are set to be announced at Star Wars Celebration next year. That's going to be truly exciting to the fandom. Now, currently, Kathleen Kennedy is said to be against this idea by Favreau and Filoni, and has even tried her best to steer them away from the direction of the Star Wars brand itself. Now, I don't know about you guys, but obviously Favreau is really trying to do everything in his power to bring Star Wars together when it comes to Star Wars Legends. Now, obviously, Star Wars Legends is very respected. You know, Star Wars Legends is the type of material that has a lot of stories related to Luke, Thrawn, Mara Jade, Palpatine, and more around that like. Now, in this scenario, what they're trying to do is that they're trying to take elements from Jedi Outcast and throwing it into this new Mandoverse, alright? So, Mandalorian Season 4, currently the plan by Favreau is to end the Mandalorian series at Season 4. But he wants to also continue the story of Din Djarin and Grogu. So I think it's pretty much correct at this point, and it does tie with the earlier leaks from last year, that Favreau is using the Mandalorian as a foundation, if you will, that's going to eventually grow and blossom into other TV shows that'll feature characters from the Mandalorian. That, to me, makes a lot more sense. Now, obviously, The Mandalorian Season 3 is going to be a very important project for Disney to focus on. They want to make sure that that actual season is going to pretty much lay the foundation of what's to be revealed for Season 4. And Season 4, which is still due for a release in 2023, that's going to be also a very important show, because it's really going to give us that final, you know, story of how all these characters in The Mandalorian are going to come together, and how they're also going to continue their stories and their adventures in other TV shows that come after that. So I find it to be very interesting that they are looking at the character Kyle Katarn to be portrayed by Andrew Lincoln from The Walking Dead. If you look at Kyle Katarn in the video games and how he's portrayed, I can see somewhat of a resemblance there, and I can see why Favreau would want Andrew to become Kyle Katarn. It makes a lot more sense to me, at least. It's a great casting call. I think that what they're trying to do right now is that they're trying to bring in a lot of familiar faces and throwing them into the Mandoverse to kind of gain viewership. That's their plan, at least I believe. You know, they're getting these familiar faces, throwing them into the Mandoverse, and that's going to draw in fans of those actors and or actresses to become more familiar with Star Wars. Now, obviously, when we go ahead and examine what Favreau is planning, this is going to tie directly also into the Ahsoka Tano series in a unique way, so keep your eyes open for all of that. So on top of all of this, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.